क्या बात है.
आज मुझे अपने ही दिल में एक नया इंसान मिला, पहुंचा हुआ नहीं दूर जहां, भगवान की मेरी निगाहों से
याद पुरानी
राहों से
How's
So I
that?
think क्या बात है, बहुत सुंदर प्रमेश, बहुत सुंदर स्टार्ट किया. आई लव दिस. It was spontaneous and it was beautiful. I love it. This presentation, thank you everyone for coming for and joining us on Zoom today. Today's presentation is highlighting my very good friend Pramesh Ratnakar, who I am his friend for last. I'm lucky to have him as a friend for last 50 plus years. So that is the kind of friendship we have. And today's uh, presentation is about how to defeat or how not to get bogged down by Parkinson's disease. And it is an initiative towards disease free and prescription drug free humanity. And Ramesh, can you please tell me what was that? Actually, today's presentation is all about the power of intention or sankalp as you call it. And Hum Khelenge is one of the sankalp that Ramesh had. And can you please tell us what that Hum Khelenge, how did you come up with this?
See, the idea of play, hum khelenge is basically we'll play. We'll play with Parkinson. And I kind of think of Parkinson as a phenomena where I am the playground, I am the player, I am being played. I mean, I am the football, I am the player, I am the opponent, I am the referee, and I am the one who's going to win or I am the one who's going to be defeated.
Wow.
So it's kind of it sort of encapsulates the whole process of life, which also I think is a game. And the other part about being a player and being playing is it's all about fun and joy. Even the
Wonderful.
loser is losing only because he is having less of a joy than the winner. But the game, all sports, all games are having to do with joy and fun, not with depression or anything like that. And last but not least, all games, all the sports involve challenges of movement, meeting and overcoming movement challenges. And Parkinson also offers us challenges of movement, basically.
Wonderful.
So we bring together the sort of commonalities, the similarities between the game phenomena, sports phenomena, and Parkinson. And then I sort of treat Parkinson as a sport, as a game, rather than as a disease. I mean, disease is a horrible word.
Yes, I know.
Let's call it a condition.
Yes,
Let's call it
yes,
a
yes. Very true, very true. So this Hum Khelenge was the very strong intention Ramesh had. Intention, the very sankalp. And actually, uh, sankalp, we remember last time, couple of uh, sessions ago, I had talked about the seat of intention is the reticular activating system, and it is just the this is the place where this reticular activation system, Ramesh is using this area, the red area, to counter us just on the right side of this particular spot right here. There is a spot which is getting degenerated in Ramesh's case. I will talk about that little later. Okay. So this particular spot that you see is getting degenerated, and Pramesh is using just the area just below it to counter that. That is the power which we are talking about, the power of intention which Pramesh has shown as I have studied him. Actually, I have studied him. It's not just a friend. I've been watching him, and this is just powerful. Let's listen to this particular, watch this video, and initial first minutes, let's say first minutes, you will see what Ramesh is all about here.
कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कभी सुख कभी दुख, यही जिंदगी है। ये पतझड़ का मौसम घड़ी दो घड़ी है। ये पतझड़ का मौसम घड़ी दो घड़ी है। नए फूल कल फिर डगर में खिलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। तेज कितना हवा का हो झोंका, मगर अपने मन में तू रख ये भरोसा। मगर अपने मन में तू रख ये भरोसा, जो बिछड़े सफर में तुझे फिर मिलेंगे। उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। जो कहीं उठ रही है लहर प्यार की, जो कहीं उठ रही है, उसे एक दिन तो किनारे मिलेंगे। उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कभी तो
Now, that was Ramesh's. You saw the beginning part of it, how he was walking. That was he has been undergoing that kind of a stress for last 8 years. Last year he made this video. I think Ramesh, correct me if I'm wrong.
Our dear friend, this is a four-way chat.
This is this video is the video which you put on the other video now. Or do I talk?
Yeah, this is the one, next one. Yes.
So before you start this, let me tell you a little bit about the video you played earlier.
Yes, please do. Please do.
That video was shot by the the videography was done on the phone by the hospital attendant. Which I went to a Ayurvedic hospital in December last year, and I was there in the first of early January. And we basically went to the river. This was in South Karnataka, and we went to the river, and we were just fooling around. And he took the photograph. He took all the sort of pictures on his video cam on his mobile phone, and we put together the video like that. But that is 2021. The video that you're going to play now was in 2018. Basically, every year I make one video, and
Okay.
to try and trace the growth and the sort of how Parkinson has been
Yes.
growing in me and how I have been growing with Parkinson. So
Okay.
the video that you're going to play is was made in 2018.
Okay, okay. So anyway, but I would like everybody to listen to every word Ramesh talks about here. You will this particular video transformed me, to be very honest with you, Ramesh. And it is the most somebody will get transformed today after watching this video. I don't know who is that person, but definitely I was, which I got transformed. Anyway. Oops.
Our dear friend, this is a four-way chat between Ashwini Khurana, Prithvi, me Madhusudan, and our dear guest, my friend Pramesh Ratnakar, and his journey with Parkinson's.
They argue there is a certain chemical dopamine that coordinates the signals from the mind to the body. That becomes less, and when that becomes less, the signals from the mind to the body get jammed. So everything slowly starts collapsing. It could be your bowel movements, it could be your itching, it could be swallowing, it could be voice, and all over a period of time, everything gets impacted. So there's no cure for it. There's a miracle drug which they have which artificially supplies dopamine to Parkinson patients. So I've been having that drug for the last 8 years now because I was diagnosed in 13. So the whole issue at the moment in all of Parkinson dealing is how to manage Parkinson rather than curing Parkinson. So my tagline is, in my experience of Parkinsonism, is that you cannot beat Parkinson, but you can ensure that Parkinson doesn't beat you.
Lovely.
Slow degenerative movement disorder where body's movements are affected. There's tremor, there's rigidity, there's slowness, and all kinds of problems evolve over a period of time. My take on Parkinson is, why don't I treat it like a game? My dealing with Parkinson is I've made it into a bit of a game for myself, a bit of a sport for myself. Because in all the sports, we take on challenges of movement. And therefore, I have sought to handle my Parkinsonism with deliberately moving into the sports arena, the sports fields. And today we are on to a lovely golf course with Ashwini and Prithvi, and we are going to play some serious golf. I'm going to beat the shit out of them. I have designed a swing for myself, which is my own invention, as it were, while playing golf, because I have had to accommodate my body rigidity and its inability to do certain activities which golfers normally do, like shifting weight and so on. It will get you down. The secret is to get up and innovate and then enjoy the innovation and play with it. And I have managed to hold my own in this hole with others, so I am thrilled. And to the extent that I am thrilled, I am living a life.
You don't need to say more.
When you get Parkinson, because your body doesn't behave the way you want it to, it impacts the mind, and then you get into self-pitying mode, and you get into depression, and you get into all kinds of things. And that increases and that augments everything. I mean, that heightens all the problems, as it were. So one of the key challenges is to take on the disease at a level in terms of concept, in terms of idea, in terms of how do you want to deal with it as a phenomena,
Yeah, especially, I mean, as a thinking English literature professor.
or as a
Does that
thinking
come in
human
the-
being.
Thinking human being, I think it's got to do with allegory and
Yeah,
English
very
literature
true.
and
Very,
metaphor.
you've got it right. I have. So for me, I am sort of taking the game on of Parkinsonism right from the Leela concept to sport concept to make believe concept to mind body coordination. In a sense, if I have inherited my Parkinsonism from my grandfather and father, I've also inherited sports from them. So life evens out. So no point being depressed or sad about anything that happens to you, because it's all part of an intermix which is huge and which you can creatively explore in all kinds of ways. Always. I can rest on this while I'm walking. And this belongs to my grandfather. He used to play with this and use it. Last hole, I lost concentration a little bit on the bunker shot and made a royal mess of it.
Yeah.
And when the challenge is more, then the concentration and the effort and the endeavor has to be more focused and more
Yeah.
more
would
deliberate
think
and
normally,
more
yeah.
and that creating that focus without panic inside is the heart of the matter. This is my, I think this is where I score a lot in terms of beating Parkinsonism. If I don't have the walk, if you have it, when I watch you walking,
That'll do.
I am
Does it for
blissed
you.
out. When the huge thing happens and I see that happening, I see the design, I see the galaxies working to create the balance, the gravity working, the alignment happening. And when that alignment happens in the walk, I don't have to go to dance, I don't have to go to classical dance to see the beauty and the, it's there in it's there in everything. And your loss should enable you to see the manifestation wherever else. And once you do that, a certain generosity that is right all over the place
Pervades into you.
kicks in, and
Ramesh,
you are hoping for another par. See, a normal golfers are supposed to keep the thing head straight, not move the head, and turn the shoulder. So you get the power from the shoulder. But I can't turn the shoulder because I'm too stiff. So what I have innovated is I freeze everything. I lift my arm and I loosen my grip like mad. So I go like this. I take it as much, let it go as much as I can with the wrist because I've loosened it. And then, so, see,
How did you come to evolve this?
because I have to deal with my body. Now my body can't turn like that. So, and I still want power. So I go like this. Well, I have had a lifelong engagement with Parkinson's disease. My grandfather had it, my father had it, and now I've inherited it. So over the years, I have developed an understanding of the disease which is in my vocabulary, which is not a medical way of talking about Parkinson's disease or a sort of a, it's more in experiential terms. And my understanding of Parkinson's disease now is very simply put in very simple definitional terms is it is the acceleration of mortality through deacceleration of movement.
I want to repeat this again.
We are
This is so powerful.
understanding of Parkinson's disease now is very simply put in very simple definitional terms is it is the acceleration of mortality through deacceleration of movement. We are all mortal creatures, we are all going to die, and over a period of time we are all experiencing degeneration. I mean, right from birth we are experiencing some sort of degeneration and moving towards our ending. But Parkinsonism allows me, that's how I take it, and that's how I've made it into a bit of a positive so that I can transform it into a game. Parkinsonism allows me to experience this mortality self-consciously and to deal with it using my own ingenuity, using my own skill sets. And to the extent that I am dealing with mortality and to the extent I am dealing with something which everybody is dealing with, to the extent that I am dealing with what life is all about, through Parkinsonism, I am able to experience the experiencer in a way which I wouldn't have done otherwise. So one of the ultimate goals of life is actually to do this, experience the experiencer. And because I am dealing with experiences very self-consciously, because my movements are not rhythmic and I have to will them in all kinds of ways. PD has been a huge educational experience for me so far. And to the other Parkinson patients, I will say always that if you can continue to preserve a positive way of looking at life, you will be able to deal with PD much better than any other else.
As an end note, I wanted to say that 40 years ago, we were together in college. Pramesh was my senior by about 4 5 years. There was a grudge match planned for table tennis then. It never happened then. But Pramesh is claiming he's fit enough to beat me even now. We'll come back to you after we have that table tennis match for our next episode on Fighting Life, Fighting Parkinson's. Thanks, everybody. This is Madhusudan Srinivas with Pramesh Natkar for Patients Engaged, essentially.
Our dear friend, this is a
Now, don't you think, guys, that this whatever the last 3 minutes, 2 3 minutes Ramesh talked about is coming from a self-realized master. I mean, I've heard so many people talk about that. This is coming from his bone marrow. Every word he is speaking is coming. This is the what thing that transformed me. This is what I was telling you about.
our dear
Now, when Pramesh was talking about uh, in the golf cart about some portion of the mind not behaving well or not sending the signal to the body, it was this portion I will talk about. I just want to mention what was he talking about. This portion, if you make a section of your brain like this, all the way from your uh, like that. So they call it coronal section. So anyway, this portion is the one which is basically responsible for synthesizing dopamine. This red portion has the dopaminergic neurons, and in Parkinson's situation, I wouldn't say disease anymore because I don't like that word either. So Parkinson's brain happen to have these neurons degenerate. Okay, and this area is called substantia nigra. Now, now this is a sagittal section. I would say like this. If you cut it like all the way like that, so this is what. So this blue area that you see, this is the substantia nigra. This is the left side of the brain. This is the right side of the brain, and this portion over the striatum, that's the one which does not get enough dopamine, and that is why we have the challenges of movements. Have you watched Pramesh's left hand not working? He's trying to hide it behind because it's kind of it shakes. It doesn't behave. It does not obey his commands. Not only that, this particular area, the dopaminergic neuron, is spread out all over in the frontal cortex, and it is responsible for a lot of higher functioning like cognition and all that good stuff, decision making and all. So this is where uh, this particular thing he is struggling with, and he is using this whole part of the brain, this particular especially the pons and the medulla oblongata and all that. This is actually the reticular activating system to beat these guys. Okay. Now, pardon my sloppy drawing here. I just wanted to show this portion is what is affected. This particular area sends out neurons in this particular area like this. These are the black one is the dopaminergic neuron. I'll show you again. This is the dopaminergic neuron sending its long fibers all the way into the putamen area and all these several midbrain areas, which has so many finer tunings that is going on to the motor cortex for movement. We take this particular movement like picking up a pen, closing the door so lightly, we don't even think that those things are controlled so well by this particular area of the brain. And that is the one which is getting degenerated in Pramesh's case. I would like you to watch another powerful video which he made last year, just before he had gone to the Ayurvedic clinic in Puttur in South Karnataka. Ramesh, do you want to talk about before or you would like to talk about it after?
No, I'm also going to say one thing, Manuel,
Yes.
while you're talking about the degeneration of the brain and the sort of brain doing. There's more to it. There's a bit of a mystery here in the middle of all things. Today's Holi, and
Yes.
I came. See, I have come to my understanding of Parkinson through a lifetime of dealing with Parkinson. My
Yes.
grandfather, my father. I was the main caretaker for my father when he
Uh-huh.
was going through Parkinson. And
Right.
I remember one Holi when something happened, and I'll just tell that anecdote right now. Holi, this was in the last stages. He was sort of completely bedridden, and he had to be helped to get up, and he had to be helped to go to the toilet and all that. Holi, all the attendants went away, so I was looking after him for that day, that Holi,
Yeah.
and the whole day went off very well. We were all celebrating and sort of happy and all that. And my father was very fond of sweets, so Holi he ate a lot of sweets and all that, and we kind of also Holi, so we indulged and all that. The result was that the evening disaster happened. He couldn't control himself in incontinence, and there was the bed was all sort of I mean he peed and everything happened,
Yeah.
and no attendance. So I had to clean him up. I had to sort of take him to the bathroom. I had to change the sheets and so on and so forth. Finally, I had him dinner, everything, and I tucked him in bed, and I was switching off the light, and he was in bed lying quietly and all that, and he was kind of dozing off because he was almost half asleep. And when I switched off the light, I said, "Good night, Papa." And he said, he was out kind of dozing, and he says, "Good night." And then he said, "My heart is full of joy."
Wow.
And I was zapped. I said, here's this very active, sporty guy who's been through whatever he's been through. And instead of feeling depressed and sad, he's saying, "My heart is full of joy." And the mystery was I kept thinking about it, what could be that made him so full of joy. And the idea was that eventually I realized that maybe earlier attendants did the same thing, and when I did it very differently because I loved him and I looked after him and so on. That whole interpersonal thing and the whole phenomena of me looking after transformed everything.
Oh, beautiful.
So what we do with each other, what we do to each other, what we do to ourselves and to each other changes everything.
Yes.
I mean, whatever genes might do, whatever illnesses might do, what we can do for each other will transform everything for everyone.
Yes. Yes.
And the
Absolutely.
disease of Parkinson, to the extent now that it is becoming almost a pandemic. I mean,
Yes.
every second person is getting Parkinson, and every second family is getting Parkinson.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think pandemics are challenges for each one of us
Yes.
to understand that we need to each other look after each other, and we need to look after the human body. Am I getting across?
Yes, you are getting across. Very good. If other than
We need-
Pramesh, can anybody shut off their please mute themselves on the whatever the device that they're using? I appreciate that so much. Very good. So, I mean, I want to
So I'm
emphasize
saying,
one thing, Pramesh, that I have seen one thing about you is how you have used an impediment such as this Parkinson situation to advance yourself spiritually and use that impediment as an advantage rather than impediment. That is something which I am so fascinated about you particularly because see there are so a lot of people who you see, but when you see something they drag you down, but when I see you, you lift me up. That is something too fascinating to me, to be very honest.
it's because of friends like you, man,
Thank you. Thank you.
and others, all the people around, all the
Yes,
caring,
yes,
sharing people,
yes,
all that's what I was saying. If we, as human beings, if we look after each other, if we take care of each other, if we give the love and affection, and then there's nothing that can hold you back.
wonderful. So let's listen to this. Let's listen to you here. It's fascinating. I'll for some portion I will fast forward it for the space for the lack of time, too much of time. So I'll use this and let's have.
Good evening, everybody. Today's Saturday, 11th April, and today is the
Actually, this is last year Pramesh's video.
World Parkinson's Day. I've decided to make this video for my family, for my friends, for my doctors, for my yoga teacher, for my physiotherapist, and for my sports complex friends, because many of them are very concerned about how I'm coping with Parkinson in this ridiculous, virus-ridden, horribly diseased days. They're worrying how I'm coping with isolation, whether I'm getting enough exercise or not. And I've made this video very specially for my Parkinson affected friends, patients as well, because I'm worrying about them. Are they getting enough exercises? Have they thought of ways and means by which they can cheer themselves up? And I've decided to make this video because I want to not tell but show how I am dealing with all this. And to some extent, I feel I'm succeeding. So far, so good. I am coping, and I'm hoping that you guys are doing as well. And the one more thing I'm hoping, that this ridiculous, bizarre, absolutely ridiculous performance that I'm going to put up will bring a little bit of cheer in your life as well. Cheers.
This is my third beer.
Here we go. First, we'll do my favorite bhajan, a little bit portion of it, and then we'll sing, clap our hands and sing a song.
This is your bhajan, right?
Good evening, everybody. Today is actually it's not even the twister. It's a 8-year-old years of dealing with Parkinson guy. It's a Parkinson patient who understands, who has worked it out over the years, who accepts that disease or no disease, one day he is going to die. And therefore, he believes it's very important that he retains joy in himself and generosity of spirit, because that is what he plans to take as a return gift to that guy there. All kinds of horrors are let loose upon us. we need to retain our faith. We need to arrive at some sort of acceptance, even as we fight with all our heart, all our mind, all our souls, these ridiculous, horrible diseases. Well, that was a bit of fun, and let us wish each other luck. We all need it, and we all need each other. So, all the best. Take care of yourself. Good night. Bye.
This was Pramesh's last year's situation, which was like 8+ years, he says. And he he's not doing that good as far as his body movements are concerned, although he is trying his best. Now, the reason why this thing is not happening, he in one of his other earlier videos, he has talked about that he is giving a miracle drug, within quotes, I would say, miracle drug called levodopa, which is producing the dopamine in his brain, and that's how it's. So this is exactly what is happening to him, Pramesh. So this is the normal dopaminergic neuron on the left side, which produces dopamine in these small vesicles which are releasing dopamine here. The blue thing is dopamine. In Pramesh's situation, this is what is happening. This particular neuron, dopaminergic, so-called dopaminergic neuron, is no more producing enough dopamine to activate further signals. Okay, that's what he was talking about. That mind not be giving signals enough to the body to do its work. So what he has been prescribed is L-dopa. L-dopa means levodopa. Okay, that levodopa is a precursor for dopamine to be synthesized in this neuron. Okay, now the challenge with levodopa is that it gets converted to dopamine in the bloodstream itself. This is a bloodstream. That this is two red cells lining here. So this particular portion is the bloodstream. The problem is that it makes dopamine in the bloodstream, and dopamine cannot pass the blood-brain barrier. Now this particular thing is a blood-brain barrier over here, which cannot pass. It makes dopamine, but it does not reach the brain. There is a challenge. So how the L-dopa has to go as L-dopa inside the brain so that this particular neuron can only synthesize dopamine. Okay. Another challenge is L-dopa gets converted to 3-O-methyl dopa. So all the side effects that L-dopa has, which Pramesh is experiencing at the point when he was talking in the last video, he was experiencing a lot of side effects of early dopamine synthesis and also 3-OMD synthesis inside the bloodstream, despite the fact that he is using carbidopa and because 8 years of synthesis, L-dopa is only known to work for 3 years. After that, it only makes complications. Because why it makes complications? Because these cells are dying. So even the L-dopa gets inside the brain, there is no cell to receive it. Remember that. That is the most challenging part in this business. Now, what is the real cause for death of neurons in the brain? Is environmental toxins, abnormal neuronal metabolism, aging, which leads to free radical formation or oxidative stress, which is called. That's why we have to take antioxidants. This is the reason why we should take antioxidants. Why should we take omega-3 fatty acids and all that stuff? Is purely because we don't want free radical formation. Okay, because the environmental toxins, especially in Delhi and area, it is horribly high, very high. So in order to protect oneself, one has to take this kind of a free radical sequesters so that he doesn't destroy the brain and cause DNA damage, lipid peroxidation, and subsequently cell death. Okay. Now My concern, I had been to lots of these Parkinson meetings. Uh, I don't know why I used to go there for the. I've been. I think I am just a student, so I just love to learn as much as possible. But when I go and watch them talk, it bothers me because they are not doing the studies right. Now, what was happening is they said that there is a selective damage of dopaminergic neurons. Hence, because these neurons make dopamine, which does the job further. So let's make dopamine. So what they do is they make dopamine by giving L-dopa. Now, but the neurons are not there. The neurons that makes dopamine using L-dopa are not there. What on earth are they giving L-dopa for then? Right? The problem is the cells are not there. So what are you trying to do with this L-dopa? Isn't it you are flooding the system with L-dopa, maybe interfering with other cells if the other cells are producing 5-hydroxytryptamine or sorry um, yeah 5-hydroxytryptamine or this you call it serotonin or norepinephrine. Don't you think this L-dopa will mess up with those cells? Yes, it will. Now they say, okay, well, we are not going to do L-dopa thing. Let's do some stem cell transplantation. And other meeting, I asked them, I said, you are trying to do stem cell transformation. I said, where are you getting the stem cell? No, no, we are going to induce pluripotent stem cell. We are going to make the stem cell from the skin cells, induce them to become stem cells, and then genetically engineer those cells so that they will produce dopamine. I said that's fantastic idea, but you are trying to implant these stem cells in the same area which killed the previous dopaminergic neurons, right? What have you taken to make sure that the stem cell that you will put will not die? Oh yeah, that's a good question. They said, well, we will make them immortal. We'll introduce a gene which will make them immortal. I said, don't you think that will develop tumors? If you are making stem cell immortal, which means they will constantly divide and they will develop tumors. And that's exactly what happened. This particular two clinical trials failed in San Francisco, and it is purely sloppy studies these people are doing here. Now, there somebody says, well, we will remove the alpha synuclein, which is basically the reason why the cell dies. There is a cluster of some proteins and they aggregate and then they kill the cell, right? So in order for the aggregation should not happen, we'll provide some energy system. As how are you going to provide energy system? They have no idea. So these are the couple of things which I am very seriously concerned. That's why I said no. There has to be another way to deal with this challenge. So I went into Ayurveda studies and I started to study Ayurveda on my own. And I found out that in Sutrasthana section of Charak Samhita, chapter 20, it talks about the Maharogya Adhyaya, which is the lessons of great disease, and it has mentioned Kampavat as one of the diseases. Kampavat means shaking and of whatever, of different body parts because of the Vat. Now it is a they have throughout the history they have even 7th century they have been discussing this, 12th century they have been discussing, 13th century, 18th century, and in 18th century Govindas Sen in Bhaisha Ratnavali, he talked about Kampavat as Parkinson disease. So it's already there in the system. Now for Vata dosha, the Vishesha Sthan, I mean the very specific area for Vata dosha is colon. Okay. It is not brain, by the way. And if they are asking, if they are saying, if they are describing Kampavat or Parkinson's symptoms, it is not the brain is where it gets actually middle manifestation. It actually manifests in movement, but brain is the place where it penultimate manifestation, I would say. But colon is where it starts. That's where it's at. So if no measures are taken to reduce this vat, it will accumulate and become aggravated to the point of overflow and spread into gross areas such as blood and and subtle circulations. So this is where you have to understand that Vat, it is a Vata rogue rather than a neuronal rogue. It gets manifested later on. Somebody will ask, what is this Vata dosh? In Ayurveda medicine, the Vata controls the very basic body movements or functions like cell division. Simple cell division is controlled by Vata. Okay. Now, if excess Vata is there, what happens? Cells will continue to divide. So, if in the colon, if Vata is accumulated, then it will call colon cancer. Simple as that. If your mind, and of course, basically, if what Prakriti people happen to have are very thinking kind of people. They are creative people. Okay, so it regulates them, the thoughts, the breathing, the blood flow, and the heart function. What also controls the ability to get rid of the waste from your intestine, and it controls all kind of movement in the body. Every movement is Vat related. Why it is Vat related? Because it is one of the Pancha Tanmatras, which means air, air, water, earth, space, and fire. So remember, so this Vat dosh is all about air and space. Okay. Now things that can disrupt Vat include eating again too soon after the meal. Okay. Fear causes what? Challenges. Now, in our regular language, what you can call it inflammation. Okay. Inflammation is nothing but what? Let it be very simple. What is just like Shashi Tharoor talking in English, and inflammation is just like normal people understanding it. Okay. So if what force is the main life force, you are more likely to develop conditions such as anxiety, asthma, heart disease, skin problem, and rheumatoid arthritis. These are the various challenges. One of the challenges happened to be Parkinson. Okay. Now, in Parkinson's situation, I would say there is a damage to extrapyramidal nerve tracts whose neuron originate in the medulla and pontine region. Remember, medulla and the pontine region I was talking to you about in the first slide or second slide, I would say. So it is there, it is originating, and those are the ones who are dying. Pramesh is using just 1 angstrom or 3 or 4 angstrom below region to defeat the region above it. Remember that powerful stuff he is doing. Now, this particular damage that is happening in this region is result of the Vata dosha. Okay. Thus, the initial site of Parkinson, please note this down. This is the most important take-home message for today. The initial site for Parkinson's disease may very well be lower gastrointestinal tract. It is not the brain. It is penultimate. Brain is a penultimate situation because the damage is happening here. Okay. Now, let me tell you what we are talking about. It is a Swadhisthana chakra which provides the neurons over here. Okay. So this lumbosacral nerve plexus, which is basically Swadhisthana chakra, is what provides this. So if these neurons are kind of having Lewy bodies or alpha-synuclein accumulated, this particular message reaches up all the way to the brain area, and that's where it gets manifested. The second region is Manipura chakra. So in yogasans, if any, all the yogasans, the very, 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 very important spots are Swadhisthana chakra and Manipura chakra. No yogasan goes by without activating this chakra. Just simply doing running, simply doing walking, simply doing weightlifting, it is not going to cut it. You have to activate Swadhisthana chakra through different positions. And of course, Sriji is an expert in that, and there are lots of experts sitting in the audience right now. So Swadhisthana chakra, remember, Pramesh, you must have definitely done exercises in yogasans in Puttur, in South Karnataka, where they have taken care of Swadhisthana chakra activation and Manipura chakra activation. Okay. And
I may say,
activation,
final,
hello.
I must confess, I must tell you that I have been doing yoga. Yoga is probably the thing that has helped me the most.
Yes,
A
yes,
friend of mine, Atresh, she pushed me into doing it.
awesome.
When my st- when I was when Parkinson started in 2013-12, I was not into yoga. I kept doing sports exercises. Because in those days I used to think of yoga as just bending, stretching of a certain kind, which and the Brahmins have sort of allowed put metaphysical stuff on it, and therefore it's all mumbo jumbo stuff.
I was one
So
of you.
I completely sort of ignored yoga, but this friend of mine, she pushed me into it because she has been doing yoga for long years and benefiting from it. So,
Fantastic.
uh, so when I got to doing yoga and the kind of benefit I started deriving from it, I took to it I mean, I did it hugely. I would take a book. I'm not much into listening to people and uh, sort of following them. So I like to go with books. So I took a couple of books. Read,
Satyanand Saraswati, you took the book, right?
yeah, that one. And
That was
I the
fantastic book.
thing,
Oh, yes.
yeah, I mean, I went to Motilal Banarsi Das, picked up all the yoga books, but that was the one I liked the most because it was very well written. The
Awesome.
prose was very good.
Very
So I
good.
went to the hills. I went to Himachal. I got myself a room there, and for I isolated myself, and for months I did yoga on my own, and
Wonderful.
that helped me the most. During the lockout, I couldn't go to the hills, and that's when my condition degenerated a lot.
Yes, yes. Wonderful. So this is a Manipura chakra, which is basically you would like to see how it looks like, right? Or Swadhisthana chakra. Maybe Swadhisthana chakra, I would like to show you how it looks like. This is of Swadhisthana chakra. Anybody who does not believe in chakra, this is how it looks like. This yellow stuff that you see, all the nerve plexus here, this is Swadhisthana chakra. Now, people started to ask me when I was trying to prepare this. I said, "Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You are talking about gut. Where? What is the proof? Where is the proof? They always put down Ayurvedic Shastra for some reason. I don't know why, but they say there's no data." I said, "Well, I'll show you." 3rd March 2020, there is a paper in Nature Medicine. Nature Medicine is a very, very high impact journal. It has a 42 impact factor, like next to almost New England Journal of Medicine or Lancet. Uh, this is very, very high impact journal, and it talks about it's the news feature article which says what part does gut play in Parkinson's disease. Now, the possibility that Parkinson's disease begins in the gut opens up new avenues of our understanding of the disease. And this is coming from Rebecca Gilbert, who is the Chief Scientific Officer of Parkinson's Disease Association. So now you just imagine. I am sure she must have been in one of my one of those Parkinson sessions where I was one of the pesky fellows. Oh, this fellow again come back here. He always asks some dumb questions and he puts everybody in trouble. So I'm sure she must be sitting there, probably figured out how to and change the entire funding process of Parkinson's disease. Now, is our gut the brain of our brain? That is the thing which is most important question one should think about is our gut the brain of our, the gut health is extremely important even for the brain health. Now, remember why. If inflammation happens or what imbalance happens, it is nowhere else other than the gut. So if gut is improperly, it is not healthy. Let's say if it is not healthy, you are in for a trouble, big, huge trouble. Hence, make sure your gut is clean, including immunity. Remember, if the vat enters bone marrow, it will affect immunity in a tremendously heavy way. If vat does not just get manifested as Parkinson, it can get affected in various different dimensions, depending on where it gets internalized. Okay. Now there are a couple of people who have had gone to this because they were totally devastated by L-DOPA treatment or this and that treatment. It was a disaster. So there are so many people who have looked for alternative ideas, and Ayurveda was one of those biggest help for them. And look at the I have heard 2,000 different ways people have been helped by this process, Ayurvedic and yogasan process. So This is like Susan Thompson. I was really intrigued by her statement. My husband was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease when he was 49. He has stoop posture, tremor, right arm does not move, and has a pulsating feeling in his body. He was placed in Cenemet for 8 months, and then Cefrol was introduced, replaced the Cenemet, and then time passed, and also diagnosed with dementia. Can you believe that the process? The, he was in a very fast-paced degradation process. I tell you what. And then he started to have hallucination, and then they say, hell with it, we are not going to do anything. Then we went to this herbal center. He is now almost 55 and doing very well. The disease is totally reversed. Now this is what I am so excited about. Look at this also. The treatment worked very effectively, and my symptoms completely vanished. My neurologist was very open when looking at alternative medicine procedures. This particular neurologist, I should salute him because he was open. There are lots of neurologists who are not. They would put down anything that has to do with uh, with Ayurveda. Another, I feel so happy and excited to see my wife recover from PD very fast. So Ayurvedic treatment also include Panchakarma, which basically is pure, complete purification, removal of all toxic substances from our tissues. So what happens? What if enters the tissue, any tissue, bone marrow, muscles, brain, wherever it can cause challenges. So you have to remove it from the get go, including liver. It can go inside the liver and can cause damage. So anyway, dealing with Parkinson's the yoga way, I have through in the literature as well as my own uh, uh, intuitive understanding, I would say, because I've been doing yogasan for last, I don't know, as much as I started at 14-year-old when I was 14, 15-year-old. So that's when I've been starting. So I kind of intuitively know what will help which part of the brain somehow. So with that understanding, and of course, from in the literature, there is some very good publications in which I have already mentioned up here. So there are some 4 week schedule which I have put together. This is one of them. Week one, week two, in the breathing exercise, relaxation, stuff like that. Continuation of Setu Bandhasan, which is I have almost all the yogasans are geared to activating the um, Manipura chakra and Swadhisthana chakra. Okay, these are the another week three. This is how you do it. Bhujangasan, Ardha Shalabhasan, Ardha Kati Chandrasan, all those things that is required to activate this chakra is what I have put together. Shavasana is there. Kapal Bhati. Now remember I talked about those people never knew understood what is it to create energetics. This is they'll put some energy ATP molecules. I said, come on, give me a break. ATP molecules would hydrolyze in seconds. You have to get to the point. Then they had no idea. Kapal Bhati is the energetics process. It generates energy inside the system by activating the mitochondria. So anyway, so these are a couple of various. Mahamudra is one of the thing which I have added in this because it is the king of all the yogasanas. It can activate all the 6 chakras in one sitting. In one deep breathing, it can activate 5 chakras, 6 chakras. So anyway, living in this harmony with one's unique nature, Prakriti, is the root cause of disease. And realignment, Ramesh has talked about realignment oneself at the physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and pranic level is essential for true healing to take place. And this is the only way out for us to be for the humanity to be disease free and prescription drug free. I am very strong proponent of prescription drug free humanity. I do not believe in any of these prescriptions that there is more toxins and more poison that we are inhaling or ingesting because of those. Anyway, the Ayurvedic approach to Parkinson's disease or Parkinson's situation, sorry, goes far beyond the effect of our herbal medicines on brain chemistry. Far beyond. It is not just this. It is actually aligning the three elements, the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, both together. All these things has to align properly, and then the system works. Somebody said that if somebody has all these three things aligned properly, that person will be disease free for the rest of their life, and if they will cross 100 notes without any problem. The real effect of Ayurveda lies in its ability to reform and reconstitute the subtle energetics, which is the foundation of health and cause of the disease. Absence of energetics can cause. The approaches outlined are basically a healthy changes in lifestyle and of course mind, which Pramesh is already doing very, very effectively. Now let's watch Pramesh after the therapy uh, from your Ayurvedic Kendra in January this year. Uh, Look at the way he is doing it. Look at his posture and look at his uh, swing and everything. Wow.
I might come in. I after my uh, after I finished one, and I went to the Pradeep Ayurvedic Hospital in South Karnataka. Dr. Pradeep is a fifth generation Ayurvedic doctor. I mean, his five generations of I mean his ancestry, and his hospital has become a sort of a hospital for Parkinson patients. When I was there were about 15 patients, and they were all Parkinson patients. And I finished. He has a protocol, 1.5 months of a stay, and you follow a protocol: diet, yoga, meditation, all of it is put together, and you do it every day. And at the end of it all, when it finished, I went to play golf at Coorg. This is a very sort of lovely golf course in Coorg, and I played for 2 days. I played 32 holes,
Wow.
uh, 2 days. So rounds of 18 holes, 2 days. First round I walked, and the holes I walked. Then I took the cart because I wanted the score, and I played 12 over. Those who know golf know how good that is. I played good golf,
Beautiful.
and but the most miraculous thing that happened was the walk. Yeah, I think you have the video, Manuel. If you could show the walk, that would be. I was able to
Yeah,
recover my
so yeah,
full
yeah,
walk, the
immediately after
upright
this,
gait,
I have that. Yes, immediately after
the
this, I have
full
that.
upright gait.
Yeah, there you are.
When Parkinson
Ramesh
started, when
walked
Parkinson,
again after Ayurvedic treatment and yogasana. That's what I want to show you. Look
this
at this.
walk is something I
Just watch
completely
the.
celebrate.
Yes, this is actually, you know what, Ramesh, when you sent me this, I almost cried. Tears came out of my eyes because I was so emotional. I said, my goodness, this guy is walking. I'm so happy. If I was there, I would have hugged you really tight. Really tight.
No, my
Really,
first sankalp 8 years ago was that I want to recover the upright gait.
yeah. I mean, remember the first video I just want to have audience, please remember the first video. He was trying to get through two chairs in between. He was dragging his feet. He could not walk straight. He could not even make sure is he going to walk ahead or he is going to stop there. That situation, tremor and all that situation was going on. And you watch this video, hats off, Ramesh.
नहीं नीली वाली किताब उठा लेना छोटी वाली ले
Hey, Ramesh, let's go to Mansarovar now, man. You can do it. Kailash Mansarovar. Wow, beautiful. So, Pramesh,
Yeah,
you talked about return gift to that Almighty. संत कबीर दास जी have already talked about. दास कबीर ने ऐसी ओढ़ी ज्यों की त्यों धर दीनी चदरिया. दास कबीर ने ऐसी ओढ़ी ज्यों की त्यों धर दीनी चदरिया. क्या बात है रमेश.
क्या बात है.
every small action that we do, we take it for granted, right? Now,
Yeah.
in Ramcharitmanas, Goswami Tulsidas ji writes, बड़े भाग मानुष तन पावा, सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथ निगावा, साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा, पाइन जय परलोक समारा, बड़े भाग मानुष तन पावा. I mean, you can just talk, Ramesh, talk, end with your whatever. Just talk something, just now.
See, the return gift is what? I mean, if we look around, what we have got, instead of craving about what we don't have, then how can you not marvel at the huge generosity that has gone into it? The problem is that we end up, because of our skeptical modernist way of looking at things, which has its own merits, but it should not be at the cost of losing faith in nature, in the design that has gone into the making of things, and in giving primacy to your own intellect over the perception that is all around you. I mean, how can you look into your own self and whatever you've got and whatever you are thinking and think is much bigger and much better than what is all around you and which is so miraculously splendid? So Parkinson, because it sort of pulls things away from you, because you can't take things for granted. You have
Yes.
to rediscover it becomes a window at looking at that huge, wonderful design that is out there, because you are now, you can't take it for granted, you can't be unconscious about things. So each little thing becomes miraculous.
Yes. Yes.
And the biggest, as far as I'm concerned, the walk
Yes.
is the ultimate. The walk we take for completely for granted. But walk is the standing upright, walking with the rhythm that you have, is what defines humanity. It's what makes us human beings.
Yes. Yes.
And for it to be taken away from you, I mean, it's like taking away your human dignity, your human being, and to recover it. I mean, it's like you're the king of the universe, and to not thank the term I use now for is not so much God or thing, because these words have become very sort of infected with all kinds of connotations.
Yes. Absolutely.
I work with the term intentionalities.
Yes.
So the way I say, I thank the pre-cosmic intentionality, the cosmic intentionality for creating and for giving me these opportunities to rediscover.
Yes.
In a very fundamental sense, sometimes I am grateful for Parkinson.
Yes. This is what you have, this particular body, whatever the body you have got, you have used as a sadhana dhama moksha kara dwara. I mean, you have made that as a doorway for liberation or for spiritual enlightenment. Beautiful. Beautiful, Ramesh. I really thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to be a part of so many people's life, and I'm sure somebody is getting transformed today, right now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Manan, for allowing me to talk about my sort of pet obsessions, etc., or pet considerations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.